side, all the way from Ireland. Now we move on to our next news. Australia has signed a landmark $6.5 billion deal with Japan to build next-generation warships in Tokyo's most significant defense export since lifting its military ban in 2014. Under the agreement, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries will deliver 3 upgraded Mogami-class frigates by 2029. These warships, designed for anti-submarine surface strike and air defense, require just 90 sailors. The deal will strengthen security ties amid growing Chinese presence in the Indo-Pacific. This is Australia's biggest naval purchase since its nuclear sub deal under AUKUS. Officials say final production and pricing talks will wrap by next year. Let's listen into what the Australian Defence Minister Richard Marles and Japan's Defence Minister Gen Nakatani had said.
Clearly the biggest defence industry agreement that will ever have been struck between Japan and Australia. In fact, it's really one of the biggest defence exports that Japan has ever engaged in. And as I say, it is a very significant moment in our bilateral relationship. It's going to be really important in terms of giving our Navy the capability to project. An impactful projection is at the heart of the strategic challenge which is identified in the Defence Strategic Review.
この選定結果は、我が国の高い技術力への信頼性、また自衛隊とオーストラリア軍との相互運用性の重要性を評価をされた証と考えております。我が国にとって特別な戦略的パートナーであるオーストラリアとの安全保障協力、これをさらなる高みに引き上げる大きな一歩となるものでありまして、オーストラリア政府の決定を歓迎をいたします。
Now, for this discussion, we are joined by Dr. Satoru Nagao. He's a fellow at Hudson Institute, joins us live from Tokyo, Japan. Thank you, Doctor, for joining us today. Good to see you. Now, how does this deal between Australia and Japan reshape the security dynamics within Indo-Pacific, particularly in regard to China's growing influence there?
Yes, this is a significant step. Because when we check the counter-China strategy, how to maintain the balance is very important. And in this case, countries around China should cooperate each other. But military capability in the countries around China is not enough because China improves their military capability very rapid pace and other countries did not. So in this case, Japan should export weapons to raise the military power of the other country around China. And in case of the weapon export is very useful to strengthen relation with Japan and other because weapon is a sophisticated machine but used in rough condition, so it is easy to broken. In this case, supply of the repair parts and supply of the ammunition also, because the weapon use ammunition, is very important. So that's why if the country buy weapon from other country, from supplier is influential to the buyer of the weapon. So buyer rely on the supplier. This is a weapon-related relation between the two countries. So that's why the weapon export is very important to raise the cooperation against China in the country around China. But Japan lacks the skill to sell the weapons. What happened is there are many failures tank about Japan plan to export but failed. Submarine failed. Was ambitious plane failed. Always fail. So, but the only exceptional case is Japan succeed is export radar to the Philippines, or the unicorn antenna system of the destroyers of the India. That was precious successful weapon export from Japan to others. So that's why this time Japan export 11 destroyer frigate to the Australian Navy is far bigger than the other example. This is the first step to provide naval ship or other weapon system to other country and strengthen the relation between Japan and other to counter China. So that's why this is a significant step and the first step as a weapon expert of the Japan. And Japan will be the security provider in the Indo-Pacific with India, of course, great power and great security provider, and Australia and the United States as a quad, and of course the Southeast Asian country who try to resist China's dominance. Vietnam, the Philippines will be main customer and a good partner for Japan in the near future. That is, this is a step to become such kind of situation. Thank you.
And Dr. Satoru, now how might this deal affect Japan's relationships with neighboring countries like China, South Korea, given the sensitivity around military exports in the region?
In case of China, of course, this is not comfortable because China export weapons to the Southeast Asian country, and the Southeast Asian countries rely on the supply of the repair parts ammunition from China. So that's why if the Japan provides weapons instead of China, Japan could be the rival for China. And Japan's purpose is how to maintain military balance with China. This means that, of course, this is not comfortable for China. In case of South Korea, indeed, South Korea is a little bit complex feeling about it because as a weapon provider, South Korea is the main provider. South Korea export weapons to Indonesia, South Korea will export weapons to Philippines, India also, and Poland also. As many countries received weapons from South Korea until now. So that's why if Japan is the main weapon provider in this region, of course, built from South Korea do not worry about attack from Japan, but South Korea worry about Japan as a rival competitor of the weapon export.
Yes.
So that's why view from China, of course, uncomfortable this is, and view from South Korea, a little complex, uncomfortable, but something could happen. But without Japan as a security provider, it is impossible to resist China because of the geographical location, because of the rapid military modernization of China. So that's why this is needed,
Yes.
and this is very significant step in this region.
Thank you very much, Dr. Satoru Nagao, for sharing that insight. Please stay with us as we come back to you for our next discussion as well. Now we move on.